Hey Gabrielinos, it's Gene Harris, your friendly neighborhood police chief for the city of San Gabriel. I want to welcome you to the 411 with the chief. Unfortunately, we're still having to do it remotely, but we're hopeful that at some point here in the near future, we'll be back to doing it in person. Either way, I'm glad to be coming to you from that which is the police chief's office to touch base with members of the community on any questions that you might have. Before we get started on the questions that have come in, I want to make sure we make a couple of announcements just as an update. For November, we have a couple things happening. We have the No Shave November, which is an opportunity for us to go without shaving in recognition of men's health issues. October was breast cancer awareness, and November is men's health awareness. And the No Shave November is something you'll see our officers doing out there. So when you see them with beards, know that it's for a purpose. And at the end of November, they'll go back to the normal uniform appearance, but it is a very special time for us to help to recognize this very important issue. Also, November 10th is the United States Marine Corps birthday, so any of you Marines that are out there, happy birthday. I am also a Marine, so I'll be celebrating that day with my Eagle Globe and Anchor hat that I'll be wearing, so happy birthday to us, hoorah, and Semper Fi. A COVID update for you folks and how things are going with regard to public safety and public service. We are operating at 100% staffing during this pandemic. We have all of our folks here out in the field providing that knock your socks off service for you Gabrielinos. And we are fully stocked with our PPE gear. We want to thank the community and those who've donated some PPE for us to use. We greatly appreciate it and we'll certainly welcome any additional donations. But we also want to make sure we're letting you know that we are out there conducting the business of keeping you safe, and we'll continue to do so until this is over and beyond. We have some announcements that are going to be very important. With that, we're going to turn to addressing the questions, and here we go. You can always call us. You can call our Community Engagement Bureau, our SCAT team. You can call and we'll go out and take a look. If it's not our jurisdiction, we'll make sure to point you in the right direction. Jurisdictionally, that's probably going to be the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department, Temple Station. So you can contact them directly for those issues if there's a noise complaint. But because you reside in our city, if you call us, we'll take a look and we can go ahead and direct you to the right place. So unfortunately, sometimes we got to deal with that noise stuff until we can get it, kind of prioritize that in a place where we can go out and make a visit. But if it's in another jurisdiction, we'll coordinate that and see if we can get that handled for you. We have not been defunded. Our budget is a status quo budget. We are fully funded as a police department. The council and the staff have begun to have talks about making effective changes in the budget that do not decrease staffing. We are trying to more effectively allocate our staffing so that we can provide a higher level of service. But the short answer is no, we have not been defunded, and there is no likelihood of that happening with our budget cycle.
The reason the RPMs, which are the reflective pavement markers, the little reflective dots that generally are along the center line of streets, is that street is scheduled to be slurry sealed, and I'll refer to that in a minute. But after slurry sealing, we'll put the RPMs down because the slurry seal will destroy them. There's not much point in putting it down right now, only to remove it in a few months, probably 2 months. No, we do not at this time. The contract specs only called for one coat, so the contractor's done what they're obligated to do. The paint itself has not really soaked into the fresh pavement, but it has been tracked over. So when the street is freshly paved, the tar tracks on the tires run down the street, and you can see when streets are newly paved, the dark new asphalt will track to the old pavement areas where cars spread it around. So they've spread it over the paint. It kind of does make the paint get covered and seem less bright. Hopefully that wears off a little bit, but we're just going to put this paint in our regular routine paint and inspections around the city as we refresh paint markings, red curbs, stops and bars, centerline stripes. It'll just be put into that program. And so continuing on, just a little brief update. This is going to be going to council prior to the 411 with the chief. But what we're doing is revamping our pavement program to spend half our money, roughly, in preserving the medium and better conditioned streets to stop them from degrading to the worst conditioned streets. And on these slides right here, these are 3 projects we hope to do in fiscal year 2021 with our limited resources, just a little over $2.5 million. And what you can see is this project is $1.2 million. You will be applying 2.2 miles of slurry, which is blue, and you can kind of see Ramona right there, and 7 more miles of ARAM, which is about a ½ inch thick layer of rubberized asphalt, aggregate, and a slurry coat on top. We're going to be doing about 9 miles for 1.2 million of fresh. The streets will look new. It's not a complete repair like remove and replace, but it is an interim preservative measure. So we can do 9 miles of preservative measures versus this is a project that hasn't been designed yet, but these are our streets that will be in the program, and we do 0.9 miles for 1.3 miles, or $1.3 million. So you can see for 1.2 million we do 9 miles, and 1.3 million we do 0.9 miles of the very worst streets. They're much, much more expensive to deal with, and every time we do spend all our budget on the worst streets, the medium streets degrade to the worst condition faster than we can fix them or afford to fix them. And it's not a sustainable program, and that's why we're in the condition we're in right now. Our citywide pavement index in our last study is a 59, which is not a good number. As you know, our streets are not in the best shape. And I feel that this type of programming is what we need to do to get control of our problem and get our streets to a better index. The middle one is just separate fundings. It's CDBG's Community Development Block Grant. That's just a different funding, but these will all be slurry streets as well, another 3 miles for $250,000. And that's the update for our paving program. More pipes have been painted, the roof cap has been put on the roof, the ironwork around the windows has been painted. They're papered off because we're spraying graffiti coating. This area right here is where a window air conditioner used to be, so we welded the wire framing again. And inside the office, all the new window trim is done. You can see new LED lights have been put in. Going around the other side, graffiti coating is going on, and the gates have been painted. And right now the floors are being polished. We have one coat, well, it's dusty because of the polishing, but we have the plumbing for the fixtures, LED lights. The skylights have new wire mesh and screens and frosted skylights installed. This side's less dusty. We haven't gotten to the floor polishing yet. This is the men's room, and it also has new skylights and screens and lights and bright white paint. And that's the update for the Smith Park restroom. Again, way down there we do have the vote by mail box right at the driveway entrance to the parking lot at Smith Park. Also at Smith Park, we've installed more LED lights, so now tennis and pickleball are very well illuminated. See, all around we've changed the old fixtures to high efficiency LED lights. which are much brighter and use less than half the power.
Thank you guys for being here and for offering up those questions. Remember, we have our 411 first Wednesday of every month. We'll continue to do it remotely until such time as we can do it in the public and in person. And I want to wish you a happy November, and we'll see you in December.